Hi, everyone. I need to share something that's been bothering me for a while. Maybe I'm overthinking, but something feels off, and I'm wondering if anyone else would feel the same in my shoes. Let me set the scene. I'm in the UK, and it all started back in early November. I found out my mum had agreed to house a complete stranger, let's call her Jackie, in her home. Jackie claimed to be in desperate need, saying she'd been through a messy divorce. Her husband, according to her story, had taken over their home and kicked her out. Now, my mum lives alone. She's elderly, not disabled or frail, but definitely someone who can be a little too trusting. Jackie was introduced to her by the building maintenance guy, who painted this heartbreaking picture of a woman in need of shelter. He convinced my mum that Jackie just needed a place to stay temporarily. My mum agreed, on the condition that Jackie would help out as a cleaner and keep an eye on the flat while my mum was visiting family abroad for over a month. At first, it sounded like a win-win. But then, the red flags started popping up. When Jackie was supposed to move in, my mum had already left for her trip. She asked me to swing by and check in. I did. Jackie seemed polite enough, though I noticed the kitchen was left in a mess. Overflowing rubbish bags were on the floor, and nothing had been cleaned. At first, I brushed it off. Maybe she was busy settling in. But when I went back a few days later, the mess was still there. So, I cleaned it up myself. Then Jackie walked in, surprised to see me. She made some vague excuses for not cleaning, which didn't sit right with me. What really stuck with me, though, was when she casually asked where I lived. I mentioned I was moving soon because of rising costs, and she replied, "But your mum has a lot of money, doesn't she?" That felt weird. The oddness didn't stop there. My sister stayed at my mum's flat for 10 days, unexpectedly. During that time, Jackie conveniently disappeared, claiming she had found a quick job. She returned the day my sister left. Then, a family friend needed a place to stay for a week. Again, Jackie vanished for the exact duration, only to reappear once they were gone. It made me wonder, if she was truly in desperate need of housing, how was she managing to disappear so easily? Around Christmas, things took another strange turn. The building maintenance guy stopped me in the hallway. He started asking about my plans for Christmas and who would be staying at my mum's flat. Then he launched into this sob story about how Jackie and her daughter might not have anywhere to go for the holidays. He even hinted that it wasn't fair for Jackie to spend money on an Airbnb when my mum's flat was available. It felt like he was trying to guilt-trip me into leaving. By now, I was spending more time at my mum's place, partly because she extended her trip abroad and partly because I didn't trust the situation. I noticed Jackie was full of excuses for not cleaning or keeping the flat tidy. Remember, the whole arrangement was that she would help around the house. Yet, most rooms stayed messy for days. Yesterday morning, I overheard Jackie talking to the maintenance guy outside the flat. Their conversation wasn't clear, but I distinctly heard the phrase, money laundering. They quickly lowered their voices when they realized I might be listening. That felt like a huge red flag. It could have been nothing, sure. But why lower your voice unless you're discussing something sketchy? By now, I'd had enough. I asked Jackie directly about her plans, how long she intended to stay, what her schedule looked like. She stumbled over her words, saying she'd stay until my mum returned, then mentioned a 2-day job next week, and finally complained about her room being too cold. It's frustrating because my mum is so trusting. She didn't ask for references or even basic verification before handing over her house keys. I think she felt pressured, especially with the maintenance guy constantly around and pushing this narrative. Now, my gut tells me something isn't right. But part of me worries I'm being overly suspicious or even rude for wanting to ask Jackie more direct questions. Like, how come she can leave for days at a time if she's so desperate for housing? And why was the maintenance guy so insistent on her staying there over Christmas? I don't want to come across as a jerk, but I can't shake this feeling that something dodgy is going on. Am I overreacting? Would you trust someone like Jackie in your home under these circumstances? Or is it time I confronted her and the maintenance guy to get to the bottom of this? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for listening, and I'd really appreciate your advice.